Hi, Rick here from Marionville Models, DJI dealer from the UK and RC specialist for over 40 years. In this video I'm going to be covering DJI's new Mavic drone, which is a new segment to the market. It's an ultra compact folding drone, so more leaning towards people that maybe do a lot of, say, action sports and want something that they can take with them that wouldn't be inconvenience to take, but should they want to get some nice action shots, they'll be able to pull it out the bag. Although I think its actual marketplace is actually going to be a great deal wider than that, due to its spec being the same as some of the bigger, more sophisticated drones in the DJI range and other drone manufacturers. I think it's going to be quite widely popular. So in this video I'm going to be covering the getting it up and running, so taking it from the box to the flying field. So before we get started, I'll just go over what comes in the box. As you know, I don't like to do unboxing videos, so I've already unboxed it for you. So first of all, what you will get is you'll get the Mavic Pro. You'll get a little rubber cover for protecting the lens. It comes with, of course, a charger for your country with two cables. One will charge the actual battery for the Mavic, the other one charges the controller. You'll get a mains power lead for your dependent country. You'll get the controller itself, obviously to use your own smart device, that doesn't come with it. And it will also come with two pairs of props. So rather than the full set you used to get with Phantom 4, this is just going to come with just the one spare set of props, as in two pairs. So that is what will come in the normal Mavic Pro package. This is the Fly More package, so you're going to get all that, and then in addition you're going to get a car charger, which could be quite handy. You'll get a four-way charger, charging 4 batteries, not at once but in turn, just saves you changing them over. 2 sets of props, and of course an additional 2 batteries, and you'll also get the Mavic Man Bag. So this is just a convenient bag. It flips open like that. You can put your Mavic inside there with a controller, and you can put the accessories in the front. It also comes with a shoulder strap as well. So handy if you've kind of got your Mavic charged up and you're just going to go out to fly it. So that's what comes in the box. So now we're going to move on. Okay, so first things first, we're going to need obviously our controller, which we're going to be charging, the charger, the extra charging cable, which is the USB cable, the adapter. We're also going to need a Mavic because we need to take the battery out. So to take the battery out of the Mavic, it's quite simple. Just fold the arms forward, and then you'll see 2 pinch buttons. There's one on either side. Just pinch them in, and the battery just simply unclips. So to connect up, first of all, to connect the battery, so take your adapter, and that simply plugs into there. Now, if I just show you, if I turn that around, it still plugs into there. So that's good. So it's you don't need to worry about polarity. Now for the controller, you've got 2 USB sockets on the charger. Just plug into one of those. Get it the right way around. It will not go in. Oh, did I have it the right way around? Oh, I did. That goes in there. And then on the side of the controller, you have your rubber bung there, which is actually where the lightning cable to plug into your device goes into. Now, when you look in it, it's actually not like a sort of traditional sort of USB slot. It's a kind of bit of a funny shape, and I have to say it did throw me at first, because when you look at your charging adapter, it's like a traditional one. So you've kind of got very little guidance into the way that it goes. But as you know, on that connector, you know, you've got the wee slot just down at the bottom, but if you look very closely into that socket, it is in there, but it's just the socket. So for example, that is going in the correct way, but if I turn it around, it's not really going to want to go in, but obviously don't force it or you will end up damaging it. So that'll go in there, and then up on your display on your controller, you're going to get the message saying that it's charging. Now, unfortunately, I've actually charged everything up already because I was that excited to get it going, and then I realised I had to make the videos. So that's already charged, but that would normally say charging, and it would give you the percentage of charge. Now, on the battery, similar. Unfortunately, I think all my batteries are actually charged. So I don't think we're going to get, whoops, don't think we're going to get any life out of these either. Yeah, see, it's already telling me. But normally what would happen, the lights would start scrolling up until eventually it's finished charging, and then the lights would go out, and then simply to check the power in the battery, just push the button once, and you'll get the lights coming on, and it'll show you. Right, one other thing I'm going to take a quick look at If you get the Fly More package, you'll have one of these, which is the charging hub. Now, it connects up slightly different. So the connector actually goes underneath, and you'll see, again, another socket in there. Again, that can actually connect in any way, but that just plugs in the bottom. You just run the cable out the side. It would sit flat on the table. You've got a power indicator light there, hope you can see that. And then you just clip your batteries on. It's just like little piggies eating out a trough. So you'd have all your batteries, and the way, as I say, that it's going to work is going to charge the batteries in sequence. So it'll pick the battery that's got the most charge in it, charge that one first to get you flying as soon as possible, and then it will go on to that one, and so on. And then again, when all the lights are completely out, in fact, there you go. That's what I was looking for earlier, was the scrolling lights. So just wait until that all charges up, and then we will move on. So now they've got them all charged up, what we need to do is we need to actually activate the craft, and you need to register it to yourself. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to get the battery into the craft. Now, if you are powering on indoors, I'll be honest, I'm a bit old school, and I would recommend taking the props off. So I would normally cover this later in the video of putting the props on, but as to the props come on the craft when you get it, what you do to take them off, it's quite simple, but you just see the prop is actually quite springy, so it pushes down like that. You just push it and then turn it, and then the prop will come off. So do that one, and we do that one. It's just because we're going to have it switched on right under feet. There's no reason why the motors would start up, but we're just not going to take the chance. But another thing we need to do before we power it on is there's a clamp in at the back of the gimbal, which is very important. It needs to be taken off, otherwise you're going to end up overheating the motor. So you have this rubber cover which goes over the glaze section. Now, lots of controversy online. You can either leave this on or off. If you leave it on, it's good for protection. If you take it off, obviously you need to be very careful, because obviously the gimbal, which moves, is a bit exposed. If you leave it on, issue you can have is that if the sun hits at a funny angle, you can get, kind of looks like little solar flares in your image. So take it off, there's just a little clip at the back, just push that, off it comes. And what we need to do is we need to remove this gimbal clamp at the back. This is like a little transit clamp, so if you're traveling with it, you clip that back on, stops the gimbal shaking out. You just pinch it in with your fingers and out it comes. Now there's a tiny little tab, I don't know if you can see it in there, see the little yellow thing? It's the sticker. It's a sticker on top of the gimbal. If I actually move the gimbal, I don't know if I can do this to let you see, but if I tilt it forward, there's a tiny sticker there. So if you really want, you can take that off, but to be honest with you, if you, it hasn't even come off properly, but if you can, if you're not bothered about it, you can actually leave it. Ooh, still on me. You can actually leave it on. So we need to take that off, because when the Mavic powers up for the first time, it's going to want to move around, and if you have the gimbal clamps in there, then it's going to cause problems. But what we can do, we can actually clip that back on, and at least that way nothing can actually touch it. Okie dokie. So what we're also going to need is our device. Now I am going to, for activation purposes, I'm actually going to use my iPad mini, because it's going to be a little bit easier for you to see, and also it's got a matte screen on it, which will make it a little bit easier for the camera to see. So what you need to do is you need to download the DJI Go app. So if you've got, if you're on iOS, as I am, just go to the App Store, type in DJI Go, and you will find it. Same if you're on Android, go to the Android store and download it. Sadly, it's not available on Windows devices, as in, you know, Windows phones, etc. So what we need to do, if we just unlock, whoops, give me one moment. Okay, so once you've got your app downloaded, we just want to click on the app. Now, as I'm going to be using a separate device, then normally the way it would work is you have your Mavic controller and you have your phone. So to connect the two together, you would simply open up the little jaws like that. And as you can see in there, you've got a little mini lightning cable. Now it does come with an Android one as well. So if you're running Android, you'll need to basically pop that one out there and use the Android one instead. But I'm just, as I use iOS myself, I'm just going to go with it. So it's quite simple though. You just slide that into there, and then that just moves into there. And then you can just clip it all in place like that, and then that is ready to go, so it's connected to the device. But as I say, we're going to use my iPad mini, so I'm just going to pull that out, and what I'm going to do is, as you can see, you've got a USB socket in there, so I'm just going to connect into there and then connect into there. You can, in fact, you can actually, believe it or not, the jaws will actually open up large enough for the iPad mini to get in there, but what you need to do is you need to take that cable out, and I just don't want to take it out just now, so I'm just going to do this kind of remotely, as it were. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, we need to power on the controller. So you've got the wee power button there. If you're used to DJI, obviously, as you know, push it once, push it and hold it, and there you go, connecting. And then what should happen, whoops, is the tablet will detect what DJI device that you're going to be using. So when that goes to connected, see, now we've now got Mavic, way. But what we're also going to do, we're going to need to actually turn the actual Mavic itself on, because we're going to actually have to activate the craft. So we just need to clip the battery into the holder. Oop, in fact, fold the arms out, get a bit easier to get in there, like that. And then once again, to turn it on, you just need to, well, obviously, you'll have that sticker out the way. So to turn on, obviously, again, you need to push it, then push it again within 2 seconds and hold it. So push once, push, hold, and then let go. You will hear the beeps, you'll get your little red lights on the arms. There we go. Now, as you'll notice here, did you see that bar now turn solid blue? That means we're good, we're connected. If that doesn't go, then obviously you might have, you may have connection issues, and to check your cables. Now, as you can see here, it's actually saying there's an inconsistent firmware file. It's basically saying it needs a firmware update. But do you know what? We're actually going to come back to that, because what I'll do is I'll do a separate video on updating the firmware, but we can actually proceed. So we're going to cancel that down, because I'll be honest with you, when new firmware updates come out, what I always do, I sit on the fence for 2 weeks. Don't jump on the latest firmware update, because if there's a bug or something in it, you could end up updating and then having to downgrade. So what I tend to do is keep an eye on social media and the forums, and if nobody's reporting any issues, then jump for it. So next one now, I'm working upside down here, but next one we'll go to camera, and it's now going to tell me that we need to activate our Mavic. Now, if this is your first DJI product, you need to have a DJI account. So you can do one of two things. You can go onto the DJI website and just simply log in. That creates your account. But you can actually do it on the tablet as well. Now, as I already have an account and I'm already logged in, it's not going to ask me for that part. So when you see that pop up, you'll know what it is. So just click on next. It just gives you loads of terms and conditions. Yes, I say my firstborn child to you. Agree to that. There we go. Now you get a choice of name for your Mavic. Choose wisely, as I'm not 100% sure whether you can actually change it or not. I know initially you couldn't, don't know whether DJI have ever changed that. So I would probably recommend you actually call it what it is. Because if you call it something like Pies Rock or something like that, and then you go to sell your Mavic, it's going to look a little bit weird. So if we just go remember I am upside down here, Mavic. Maybe just call it Mavic Pro, as it is one. There's a P, where the damn R gone? R, O. So we've got Mavic Pro. Keep it simple, no point in confusing things. Continue. Now it's asking you what stick mode you want it in. Now the way it is it's kind of like left and right hand drive. I would generally go for mode 2, because that is by far the most commonly used mode. What it just basically means is like on your controller, for example, it would mean that, say, you know, to increase height would be on the left stick rather than on the right stick, that sort of thing. But as I say, I would stick with mode 2, most commonly used. C1, C2, this is just the little buttons on the back of the controller. They're like little hotkeys. Now these are customizable, so don't worry too much about what they're doing at the moment, but it's just telling you there it's so C1 would give you center focus and C2 would give you your video playback. But as I say, totally customizable, so don't worry about it. This is the modes that you're going to fly. Now I'm in the UK, so I'm going to need PAL. And then whether you want to have it in metric, so that would be meters per second or kilometers per hour. To be honest, I'll leave it on meters per second. Continue. Now this is where it's got beginner's mode. So what that is when it's on beginner's mode, it'll limit it to 30 meters away and 30 meters high. So if you haven't flown a drone before, leave it on that mode. If you have, to be honest, just turn it off. If you do have it on, remember you can actually take that off later on. You're not going to ruin it. So this is the part where if you didn't have a DJI account, it would ask you to sign into one or create one. As I already have one, I'm just going to click activate, and then it's going to activate. So as you see there, saying connecting to server. Right, so that's that done. Successfully activated. If you want to have a look through the tutorials, you can. It's also asking there to, update the firmware, but as I say, I'm going to do that in another video, so I'm just going to continue on. There's obviously a wee bit of blurb there about the DJI Care. Basically what it's saying, if you do decide to go for the DJI Insurance Care, you have to do it within 48 hours of your craft being activated. Read right into it. It's one of these things, it'll work for some people, not for the others. Have a good look at it. It's not quite, it's to be honest with you, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's untransparent, but I think people sometimes think it's better than it is. You can't just unlimitedly crash your Mavic and they'll give you a new one. It doesn't work like that. So as I say, have a wee look into that. Don't just automatically jump onto it. So that's just pretty much all rocking and rolling. So we can now click on camera view, and as you can now see, we do have that up and running. Now it comes up with a little sort of warning screen. It's just simply because the firmware is wanting to be updated, but I'm not going to update it just now, as I said. So that's the craft pretty much all rocking and rolling. So what I'm now going to do is we're now going to have a look at, clipping the props on and getting the actual craft ready, and then we'll go over in a bit more detail on the features of the app and the actual controller, because obviously it's important that you know how that works. Oops, just took a picky. Next thing we need to do is we need to do an IMU calibration. Now this is really important. What the IMU is the internal measurement unit, and it's important you tell the drone what is flat and level, and that's what this calibration will do. Now the best thing to do is to do your IMU calibration when the drone is cold. The reason being is when you first turn on the drone, this measurement unit will not let you fly until it's heated up to the temperature it was at when you did the calibration. So the colder you do it, the quicker you get to fly. So on the main menu, you've got the little quadcopter logo at the top. We just click on that, takes us into this menu. Down at the bottom you see advanced settings, click on that, and then you will see sensors, click on that. Now we have this little menu here. This gives you the state of the IMU and the compass, but we'll do the compass separately. And it's important that we do this before we start to fly. And it's a good idea to do this every time you do a firmware update, because it can reset. Now, if you have done IMU calibrations before, be prepared. This is completely different. So we click on IMU, and we'll get the wee picture up, and it says start calibration, and it will basically, as you see, it will be doing it in all different axes. So first one you saw there was on the flat and level, and then the next one, so you follow the graphic, so that's on its side that way. There you go, and then on its side that way. There we go. Then now the tail, it will not sit flat, so you're just going to have to hold it as steady as you can. There we go, and then on its back, like a wee tickle. Now it's important that you don't move it when you're doing each of these IMU calibrations. And there we go. As you see this, IMU calibration. Back to camera, and we can also stick the drone back on his back. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the compass calibration. So once again, into the main menu. Oops, I will go back, that's where I was. In the main menu we have advanced, once again, sensors, because it is a sensor. Now, I'm going to do this indoors, which means it will probably come up with an error because there's going to be too much magnetic interference. So do this out and about, like where you're going to fly, away from anything, otherwise it won't calibrate correctly, if at all. Now, lots of people say calibrate it every time you go out. It is entirely up to you. Myself, no. I'll do a compass calibration when the craft is new. If I have a bit of a bump that could knock the compass out, or if I think it's flying a little unusual, or perhaps I've laid it down next to a magnetic source and I'm not sure, but I don't do it after every flight, but that is your call. So click on compass. There we go, and now we're going to do a calibration. As I say, this will probably fail because I've just got too much magnetic interference as I'm inside. So calibrate compass, click on OK, and you follow the graphic. So first one is a flat elevation, so just go round like that, and then you just wait for that to turn. So we're now onto its side, and then we go round again. And there we go. Oh, that's actually calibrated. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised that's happened. I thought that would have failed. Obviously it can't take off, but that's because we're indoors. And that's the compass calibrated.